the reporter is saying that 80% compromises of it.
So what is the
So
meaning?
why it is wrong?
Can you put the question here? What is the? I still don't get the question clearly. We have
Sir,
asked you the question.
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead.
this looks like a audio question, sir. So
yes, audio question. It was an audio question.
It's in one of the assignments, huh?
Yes.
Okay. So what is
Okay.
that?
Activity
So we
question
will.
1.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Purnendu, please listen to that. Go ahead, Karthika.
Yeah. So we will check that and we'll see if there is any issue with it, and we'll get back to you. Just put. Aishwarya, please make a note of the question and the question. I mean, assignment and the question number.
Can you also try putting the question in the chat box? Let us see what that is, and we will try to
Sure, sir.
resolve it right away. So it's something about percentage. I am not very clear. Other than that, we can answer this question. There is no problem. Old English comprises more than 80% of the written English language that we use today. Old English comprises more than 80% of the written English language that we use today. This is true or false? So the answer has to be, what is the answer for this? Correct answer for this, Aishwarya?
False.
Sir, it is false.
False. So that means Old English is not comprising of 80% of the written language that we use today. But definitely not. So that will be false. So what is where is the question, Purnendu?
Sir, it is in activity question 1.5.
And I get it. What is the, so it's false.
Question number 5.
This statement is false. So what is the problem with that?
Sir, in the audio, it is said that 80% compromises of it, if I am not wrong. There were two people who were conversing.
Okay, so you also listen to that. We will look at that. Since it's an audio question, we will listen to it and respond to you. Okay.
Sir, also I want to know about language acquisition. How children learns the language. It is not still clear to me. Can you briefly summarize it?
Okay, we will talk about that shortly. Don't worry.
Okay.
That's a much broader topic, much broader question. But we will talk about that, and I'm sure that will be good enough for your curiosity and things that you would want to know about how language works, how learning works, how children learn, or how we learn as a child, and why it is so important to know that, and also why it is so effortless for children to learn language and not for grown-up people.
And how can, sir, how can we observe the nuances of the sentence? Means generally we'll talk as usual, but how can we observe the nuances of the sentence, how it is constructed and how it works?
Okay, these are much broader questions. We will get back to each one of them. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thanks for bringing these questions.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Next, who was the next person? Anybody? Okay. Ketan Gupta. Rupayan and Abhinav, we are coming to both of you.
Very good evening, sir. Very good evening, sir, and Happy New Year to you.
Go ahead.
Sir, can you please explain me once the articulations once again, please? Articulations of vowels and consonants.
I explained to you. That's the first week of the materials.
Yes, sir.
Online available. So have you guys have you gone through that week's material?
Yes, sir. I've gone through it.
Can you be a little more specific about your question? I can explain all that. I have explained it, but can you be a little more specific about the question, which will become easier for me to start?
Sir, actually, in that you showed us a table in which there were different type of articulating. That I want to, sir, understand one more time.
A different kind of, what was that table? Different kind of?
So, sir, in which different kind of sounds in you told about them?
Okay. Different kinds of sounds of English.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you talking about uh, the places and manners of articulations that we are
Yes, sir.
discussing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I'll talk about that as well. Let me hear little more, few more questions
Okay, sir.
from other people. Maybe they have similar questions and I can summarize all of them.
Okay, sir.
So, okay. So that was Ketan, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Ketan. So stand by. I'll talk about that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Avinav? Avinav Kumar?
Yes, sir. Sir, my question is in activity question, there is a word university and before which we have to choose A or N. So I choose A in the university, that's the word was this is dash university, not a college. So I opted A, and that answer gone wrong. So my question is, which should we opt in term of the pronunciation of vowels, or in terms the words, in terms the letter of the word, first letter of the word?
No, the clear answer, Avinav, is pronunciation of the word. If
Okay.
the pronunciation of the word begins with a vowel sound, you put
Okay.
N. If it begins with a consonant sound, then you put A. In this question, you are saying it is, you have put A, but it is wrong, right?
Right. Right.
Uh, this is non-graded and differently every time. Not graded differently every time, as it keeps changing every now and then. Looks like three different sets changing to one another. I don't understand what this means, but uh, so we are only using uh, not we are doing that. That's how it works for English. We look at pronunciation. Now in this sentence in particular, maybe this sentence requires the or something else. So we will need to check. Uh, can you look at it, Ashwarya? What is it that he's talking about? Some non-graded activity question.
Sure, sir. Sure.
And I think it requires something other than a or I am. But if we have to pick between the two, it has to be a university,
Right.
not an university. Okay, but maybe it requires the, so we have to we need to check and we'll respond to that, and then we
Yes,
come
sir.
to other
My question
questions.
was also, so where we have to put the or a or and.
Okay, that we please look at that video and we'll talk about that. Let me hear questions from other people as well. So
Okay.
that part is so Avinav and Abhishek. Sorry, Avinav and who was speaking right now? Avinav and anyway. So the clarity is the thing is very clear about a and an, which is it depends on the initial sound of the word. If the initial sound is a vowel sound, then it gets a consonant like an. If the initial sound is a vowel one, is a consonant one, then it gets a vowel a sound. So that's very clear. Where we use the is a definite article, and how we use it, there are certain constraints on that, but there is no confusion between a and an. Okay, all right. Come back to you again soon. Rupayan, there is
Sir, can
some
you hear
audio
me?
problem. There is some audio problem from you, Rupayan. Can you please fix it, or you can write your questions in the chat box? Try again, Rupayan. Unfortunately, I cannot hear you, Rupayan. There is some audio issue with your system.
Sir, can you hear me now?
It's better, definitely better. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good
So
afternoon.
first of all, sir, I have some technical question. Like in the assignments, there are audio links, but I'm not getting the links. Like the means question is given, ki listen the audio from the links given, but there is no link given in the question paper itself. And I tried uh,
Click
refreshing
on the
it.
click here.
Sorry.
It is mentioned that click here to listen the sound. So click here, जहाँ लिखा होगा वहीं पे click करना है.
Click the
okay.
word here.
Oh,
Or
okay.
Yeah,
sir.
but the sound there is two audios. There are two audios. First one is audible. The second one, even though we click here, the sound the file again next says this is not supported or this may be taken back.
okay.
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 Thank you, sir. Sir, and one more question.
Sure, Rupayan. Go ahead.
Sir, can you please explain the short and long vowel sounds? Actually, I
Sure.
went through the slides, but I have means having some trouble identifying it. Like it coming to me like a short one, but the correct answer is a long. So in
Sure.
that, and sir, one more thing, in the articulation of consonant sounds, in that one checkered board thing you showed, so there are numerous symbols. So can you please explain the meaning or how to pronounce that symbols?
Okay, I get it. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Well, sure. Before we go, then Megha Solanki.
Good evening, sir. I have two questions. One is already being discussed regarding that articulation of consonant sounds. In that table, there's description about the flap and approximate in alveolar section, alveolar column. So I'm a little bit confused between both of them. And
Between what?
in articulation of consonant sounds, we have two tables which is being discussed. One is regarding the oral sounds and nasal sounds, in which the plot is between aspiration voices and the way we pronounce it, like retroflex, dental, labial. That is one table. And another one is regarding that that while pronouncing, how we use it. Stop, nasal, flap, with respect to bilabial, labiodental, or dental way. So
Okay.
that is the cross between the that is a table between those column and rows. So that table I'm little bit confused, especially in flap alveolar and lateral approximation alveolar.
Approximate. Okay.
Yeah. So this is one thing, and the another thing is within the when the session was going on, that pre-recorded session, there you have discussed that we have two types of alphabet series. One we use in caps, I mean capital letters, and the another one is a small one. And you have used this while forming that table as well. That th, d, and th, d. You are using D for the and D for d. But the difference is between upper alphabet and lower alphabet. So as far as I found out that we use capital to pay more focus on it. Is it true, or there is some additional description on it?
No. We mean something else. I'm glad you are asking these questions. I'll clarify those things to you. Okay, just a moment. Hold on. And if you don't hear all the answers to your question, please interrupt again. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir.
All right. Harishri, you have anything else more to add, or is that all?
No, sir, my doubt got clear. Thank you.
Your doubt cleared. Okay. Rhea, you have anything to add? This is the first day. Usually we go to questions, and then we answer this, and then we go to the other person. This is the first day, so I'm trying to get a sense of your questions, and then I'll start responding. However, please be patient. We will come back to all questions, and we will talk about everything. Rhea, go ahead. There is some audio issue with your system as well, Rhea. Cannot hear you. Okay,
Is it fine, sir?
Yes, it's better. Go ahead.
Okay. So actually, I wanna ask now. There was articulation table of consonant sounds. There was written
Okay.
plus aspirated and minus aspirated. What's that?
Right. What's that? Okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
So it was not clear from the video. Was that not clear from the video?
Actually, sir, I'm a little bit confused because I'm not getting what is negative aspirated and what is positive aspirated sound.
Sure. I'll talk about that. But in order for us to get an understanding about how these videos are working, I'm asking you this question again. Everything that we have described in the video, they don't answer your questions?
So might be, I think I should watch again.
No. You can definitely watch, but I am asking you for my understanding so that we can improve the video or we can change.
So actually, it should be more elaborate about that table. Actually, yeah, it should be elaborated.
You feel there should be more on that topic in more details, right?
Yes,
That's
sir.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I get a sense of it. There are a lot of questions.
Okay,
Who
thank you,
is Galaxy Pro? What's your name?
Sorry, Himanshu. Sir, actually, I just want to know, like, for the articulation of different symbols in vowels and consonants, like, is there any way we can see all the sounds at one place, like how to differentiate between different sounds in vowels? Because, like, it's very difficult to differentiate between among 20 sounds at one time. So, is it a way we can be at one place?
महीने पहले यहीं पे तो इनकी 3 आर्टरी जो होती हैं वो ब्लॉक थी। उन्होंने कहा या तो स्टंट पड़ेंगे तो और 10 पड़ेंगे, उससे बढ़िया तो ओपन हार्ट सर।
Is this a question, Himanshu, for us? Because
no, I think it's from someone
No,
else.
sir. Somebody got unmuted.
Okay. All right, Himanshu. So I get your question is also about sounds and okay. Let me talk a little bit about this, and then if you don't hear your question answered, then you come to this again, and then
Yeah,
ask
sure.
about that again. Whatever I am going, we talk about it is those things are applicable to everybody. So I request all of you. There are a lot of people online at this time. This being probably being the first session. So listen to this carefully and be patient. If you have another questions, do raise your hands. I come back to you. And like I said in the beginning, we will definitely answer all the questions before we conclude. Okay, so what I need to tell you about that, and somebody is also asking to summarize week 1. So all these things will get answered in one go. So let me try. See, in the first week, we are trying to familiarize you with sound systems in order to learn things to come that are going to be relevant for learning English or improving English. We have divided this into various sections, like there are multiple ways of looking at it. One way is to start with sounds, then go to words, and then go to sentences. So from that order, we are discussing sounds first. So what we did is we started with making a distinction between how we speak and how we write. So when we write, we use symbols, alphabets, letters. We call letters symbols also. So we use alphabets which are called Roman alphabets to write English. As you know, there are 26 letters in English alphabets. And somebody raised the question, somebody asks the distinction between how we use, but what we are trying to tell you that English uses a combination of uppercase and lowercase to write. And all of you know about that at the initial point of the sentence, the first word starts with a uppercase that is called capital letter, And then there are rules which we take into account for using capital letters in one place or the other. But most of the time we use lowercase, that is called smaller letter. However, there is no direct correspondence between spoken sounds and written symbols. For example, we take a very simple example, like cat. The first sound of this word cat is k. Is that true? Do you guys get this sense? The first sound of this word is k.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Second sound, it's a very simple word. We use this, we use these things and we learn these things in kindergarten. I'm using this as an example only to draw your attention to few things. So the three sounds in this word they are k, a, and t. Now, so the first point is when we write it as CAT. So there is C is a symbol in English which is used for various sounds, not just for k. Sometimes it is used for sa. There are people who have discussed these things, but in our course we don't go into too many details of those things. We found that's not very relevant for learning and improving the language. That in particular, improving speaking and several other aspects of the language. However, if you are interested in that, you can work on it and you can learn about it. I'm sure there must be something interesting about that as well. So all I can tell you, there is a mismatch. There is no direct correspondence between how sounds are spoken and how they are transcribed, that is written. That was one point which we wanted to discuss in week 1 and in several places. To do that, so and all of you understand how it works, this lack of correspondence between sounds and word. I'm just giving you one example to save time. If it is not clear, ask us later. We will try to clarify this further to you. Then, and that happens very much unlike our languages, irrespective of which language you speak. If you speak Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Marathi, Bengali, whatever language you speak. I'm just naming a few. In many languages that we have, our writing system is more adequate in the sense that they have more correspondence, one-to-one correspondence between spoken sounds and written symbols. Not exactly, but to a great extent, we have greater correspondence than Roman alphabet system of English. We can feel good about that, but here our target language is English. And English has done amazing job in using very few symbols. And as you know, I don't need to tell you these things again, that is one of the most widely spoken languages of the world. We are not talking about the general knowledge about English, other than if we were, we could tell you. And during the course, time to time, we will tell you a few interesting things about this. For example, I can tell you one interesting part about that. You can check, you already know about it, but hearing about it makes a difference. So hear me out on that. All over the world, there are so many languages that are spoken. Roughly 6,000 to 7,000 languages. I mean, that's a lot. Nobody knows the names of all those languages. English is the only language in the world out of those 7,000 languages which is spoken by the speakers of all other languages. Not by all the speakers, but some few speakers of all languages speak English. That's the spread of English all over the world. So whether there is a correspondence or lack of certain things, we need to understand those things. That was one of the goals in the first way. The second part was to tell you there are 20 vowel sounds in English and 24 consonant sounds in English. This now again you can see that the lack of correspondence. We have only 26 letters to talk about 44 sounds, 20 vowel sounds and 24 consonantal sounds. And this that you hear, 44 sounds, that is mostly common in many languages. Many languages of the world, including ours, have roughly 44 to 52 sounds, somewhere between 44 to 52. All languages have these many sounds. And in all languages, number of vowel sounds is smaller than the number of consonant sounds. But both are needed to make a word. Without a consonant sound, without a vowel sound, we cannot make a word. We need a vowel sound to make a word. There is no word possible without a vowel sound. And here I want to add a correction to you. When we say vowel sound, we don't mean five symbols that we use, A, E, I, O, U. We mean a vowel sound. And this is why we have repeatedly spent time on telling you the difference between sounds and letters. So that's another part. Then in order to talk about the difference between sounds, consonant sounds and vowel sounds, how we speak, their places of articulations and manners of articulations, we used a table. Somebody said we used a table which has, I don't have the table to project here, but I'm sure you would understand which table we are talking about. So we have a table where we are trying to show you sounds like velar sounds, palatal sounds, retroflex sounds, dental sounds, and labial sounds. And then we are trying to show the aspiration and unaspirations, voicing and non-voicing, and so on, that somebody again asked. So wait a moment here, and let me clarify two parts that two of you were asking. Somebody asked, we are using different symbols, uppercase and lowercase. So I forget the name, Harshini or somebody was asking that question. So or maybe Megha. But what you were giving, what we have done is we use uppercase symbols for retroflex sounds, like ta, as in and remember, retroflex sounds are possible only in our languages, that is Indian languages. It's possible in some other languages as well, but not in English. So for Indian languages, like let me use a Hindi word, tum tum or thela. For this ta and tha, we use uppercase to indicate. For dental sounds like ta, like tail, or dal, the, we use lowercase letters for dental sounds, and for retroflex sounds we use uppercase letters. And again, I'm not going into too many details. If these things are not clear, ask me, and then I will tell you more about that. So this is why we are using different types of symbols for different sounds. Going to another question somebody asked about English. So the difference between alveolar and other sounds. See, in Hindi or many other Indian languages, we use retroflex sounds. And retroflex sounds are not there in English. So what we do is, for English English sounds, because our first language is one of the Indian languages, what we use, we replace the English sounds with our sounds. So t in English is not a retroflex sound like table, tail, task. Many words where you find t or for that matter, primarily t and d. These are not retroflex sounds, they are rather alveolar sounds. So let me tell you the distinction between the two. Retroflex sounds are those where the tip of the tongue curls back upward and touches the hard palate region, which is also known as alveolar region in our oral cavity. So try saying words like tailor and see what happens to your tip of the tongue. That's not how it works in English. So the way it works in English is the tip of the tongue goes gently and touches the upper muscular region of the teeth. And that region is called alveolar sound, and therefore in English, t is an alveolar sound. And so is d. That's also an alveolar sound. Now, another person, or maybe the same person, asked that you see plus minus aspiration and voicing. Plus minus aspiration and voicing simply works in the following way, that if you have a sound like k, so k as a sound is a velar sound. It comes from the velar region, and which is towards the back of the oral tract, and it's unaspirated compared to an aspirated one. When you say k, if you put your palm in front of your mouth, you will feel additional flow of air when we say k. So for all the sounds that require additional flow of air, like k or g or anything in that series like ch or jh, these are the sounds in our languages. And the reason why we are introducing these sounds as well is because we use all these sounds a lot when we speak English. Therefore, we don't sound like Britishers or Americans or anybody who speaks English differently from us. So we use those sounds, and therefore we are talking about those sounds. But so that's the distinction between an aspirated sound, which we indicate as minus aspiration, and aspirated sound, which we indicate with plus aspiration. And giving those binary features, you will learn these binary features in programming and artificial language that you use for programming, what is also known as programming language. You will understand what this plus and minus distinctions, what they do. So we use those features to make a distinction between. So when we say plus aspirated, minus voice, we are saying this sound is aspirated but not voiced. So now let me tell you briefly the distinction between voicing. So the voicing is when we speak in the vocal tract, in the oral cavity, in the vocal tract, there is a vocal cord. When it vibrates little longer than the usual, then we get sound with voicing. So the distinction between k and g is that of a voicing. So if you put your palm again in here, you will get to see. If you don't realize that vibration, it's not a problem, because these things can only be realized through machines. But in reality, k is non-voiced and g is a voice sound. So this is how we are using binary features to indicate manners of articulations along with the vertical axis of these places of articulations. And English sounds, not all sounds of our languages are part of English sounds. So we are giving you another table specifically dedicated, specifically designed for English sounds. So giving you, which include t and d as alveolar sounds, and la as a lateral sound, and ra as a flap sound. So these are this is introduction of sound system in English language vis-a-vis its distinction. An introduction of our own languages, sounds of our own languages, because we use a lot of them in English as well. So we are putting them side by side for you to see the similarities, differences, and how we speak these sounds. If there is something that is unclear, I heard all of you and then I tried to respond to each one of them. But if there is anything that is unclear and you want more clarity on certain part, feel free to ask. And I'm glad you are working on it, because it's a I'm sorry I have not been looking at the chat box while speaking, but I'll look at your questions while I hear from you. So Harishri, go ahead.
So I'd like to know about the articulations of sounds, the table, one of the table, the briefings of the table, like stop, nasal, flap, fricative. What are they exactly? I didn't get that exactly.
Okay, very nice.
And second thing for it is there are some sounds which I don't know the symbols, what the symbols means exactly. I would like to know about that also.
Okay, all right. So let me answer the first one. What was that? That was fricative and stop. The distinction between these sounds, these things. See, stop means when we you need to look at okay, what we'll do is we'll put something more online for you to read, for those of you who are interested in to read. When we produce a sound, vocal sound, what happens is the flow of sound, flow of air, exhaling flow of air, moves to a particular articulation point, which is known as place of articulation, let's say ka. So it comes to the velar region. The flow gets completely blocked first, and then suddenly it is released. So after the complete blockage, when it releases, such sounds are called stop sounds. If velar sounds are difficult, let me give you an example through labial sounds. Try speaking the sound like pa. Pa is a labial sound, bilabial sound. You need to close completely. There has to be a complete closure of both the lips. You don't have to do it online with me. You try saying it for yourself, you will see the difference. So you have to close it completely, and then we release it fully and say pa, pa. That is a sound or type of a sound. Ka or pa or alveolar t, these sounds are called stop sounds. Fricative sounds are those where the flow of air is not completely closed, and we hear a hissing sound. So when we say sounds like s or z, s, z, or English f, alveolar labiodental f, as we use in father or fool or fun. English labiodental sounds are not bilabial aspirated pa that we use in Hindi. So Hindi pa is not available in English. The one that is available in English is called labiodental sound, and that is also a fricative sound. So I can give you 3 examples of fricative sounds like s, z, and fa. These are some of the fricative sounds. And likewise, so I know you just gave 2 examples. You want to know more about all of them. We'll send you some materials to read about that, because each one of the sounds of any language has a specific identity in terms of its places of articulation and manners of articulation. So fricative is the manner in which it is articulated, because it gives some friction sound Stop is the manner of articulation, and another way of looking at it is place of articulation. That is the point where the sound originates. So like ka originates at bilam sound and pa originates at lips and everything else, all other sounds in between the two. Is it making sense, Harshini?
Yes, I got it. And the one rest is the approximate one.
So which one is that? Approximate? Give me an example.
Like a palatal approximant, J, Z.
Oh, okay. That is this is not J. That's a symbol. Yeah. Somebody also asked a question about the symbols that we are using. Actually, these are called phonetic symbols. This is your first week. Take it slow. We will not use phonetic symbols a lot throughout the course. We are only giving you few examples for you to understand that some of these symbols are phonetic symbols to indicate a particular sound or the distinction between two sounds. Yeah, so that symbol J symbol is used for the sound ya, and it's an approximant, or it's also known as semi-vowel. So when you read a little more about this, you will understand what do we know exactly by approximate. It's just a name. And likewise, when you see the distinction between consonant sounds and vowel sounds are not given in terms of their specific places of articulations. Rather, they are given as front or mid or back vowels. And then there are several symbols that are used. And like I said, we will not use too many of those symbols across the course. We are also, I realize the curiosity, though any description of which are of technical or phonetic in nature, we wanted to avoid that from the beginning of the course, but we will try to give you a few pages for you to read so that you will understand a little more about these approximate or fricatives and other things, which will be basically an explanation with more examples of what these things mean. If that is not clear, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right. Did I answer other people's questions like Abhishek and others? I'm sorry, I don't remember the names, but in the Purnendu, you were asking a question about that. So did
Sir, I wanted to know how can we observe the nuances of words.
Nuances of that, and you wanted to know about learning of language.
Yes, learning of language acquisition in children.
That we will discuss shortly. Don't worry about that. That's a
okay,
much
sir.
At this point, I am trying to cover questions related to the first week of materials and
actually it was the first. It was the first, or yes, it was the first.
I know it's there.
First week material.
That's a much longer, much broader topic. I'm not saying we won't discuss. I'll discuss that, but let me first ask you if your questions about sounds and articulation and all these things about first week is clear or not. Somebody write, who is MM? Wanted to know the summary of this first week, whether it's making sense or not. Okay. Megha, is your question answered?
Sir, actually, if it's possible, can I share my screen, or I'll let you know that it is in lecture 3 PowerPoint presentation and last slide, 7th slide of lecture 3rd.
What is that? Tell me. I will get there immediately. Tell me.
Lecture 3rd, 7th slide. There is a table. There is a table. In that table, I got about the articulation and rest of the things. There are two symbols. I want to know about them because the pronunciation and rest of the things is not being mentioned related to those specific two symbols in rest of the lecture. So I just wanted to know that whether it is a misprint or I have missed some part of lecture or something that I need to know.
Lecture 3, that is the video number 3,
Yeah.
and slide number 7.
G.
Okay. Can somebody check, please? Aishwarya? Who is Anshul? Anshul Raval, is he still right here? Anshul Raval? Wanted to ask something or write something? I don't understand what you meant. Anshul Raval, are you here? Lida, can you check if he's here, Anshul Raval?
Sure,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir. I'll check.
You wanted to write? A long vowel, yes. Rupayan, sorry, I didn't talk about long vowel and short vowel. See, the distinction is important. Long vowel is, the distinction is only in terms of its duration. So when you say a and a, the distinction between a and a is only about shorter duration and longer duration. So when we say a word like, so basically there are two different vowels, the short one and long one. They are, so there is a correspondence between the two, but they are two different vowels. So when we say a in a word like cup or up, it's spoken fast, not just fast, the duration is smaller, so it's short. When we say the same sound with a for a longer duration, like in a word like father, or can you tell me a word? Tell me some words with a sound.
Rather.
Rather, yes. More words. Rather.
Honest.
Another.
Heart, right? Heart.
Honest.
Not honest.
Far.
Far, exactly, yes.
Class.
So in these words, look at the distinction between the two vowels, you will get that. Similarly, the distinction between two sounds like oo, short oo and long. So in a word like foot or foot or shoot, we use longer vowel and longer vowel, and then we use shorter vowel in a word like book, hook, book, but in the word like boot, we use longer oo. So again, don't look at the spelling of a word. Look at this. We use double of O, but that's in a word like book, but that's a shorter vowel because it is spoken for a shorter duration. But we use same symbol for in a word like boot, that's longer vowel. When you say the two word, you will see the distinction between the two. So that's how we make the distinction between short and long vowels. Is that making sense? Rupayan? Okay.
Sir, I have one question here.
Heat, correct. Just a moment. Heat and hit. These are the examples of heat as long E and hit as short E. Correct. Thanks. Who is this? Maggie. Is this the real name, Maggie? Go ahead. So who was speaking? Purnendu or somebody? Who was speaking?
Oh no, I was there, Himanshu.
Himanshu, go ahead. Yeah,
so,
go ahead.
Just wanted to know in the pronunciation of book, like is there any
Oh,
oo
wait,
or just oo?
one moment. One moment. So this is Maggie is Anshul. Is this what you are writing? Okay, Anshul, what did you want to write before? I did not understand. Again and something that you are writing, short or what? What do you want to? Vowel and consonant sounds. We realize this that we need to work on that again, Rupayan. So give us some more time. We will work on that. Okay, you didn't mean anything. So, but, do you have two ID? Can you actually can you look at this thing? Anshul, you are using two different IDs.
Sure, sir.
This is Maggie Anshul Raval. Can you Anshul, you are using two different IDs or what? What's going on? I don't get it, and I'm getting distracted with that. Anyway, look at that, Aishwarya. Okay.
Yeah, sure, sir.
All right. Now, so Rupayan, we will work on that.
Sir, I think he's using other device.
Sorry?
Sir.
He's using two devices.
Who is speaking?
Sir, he seems to be using two devices is what he's saying.
Oh,
as in he's logged in from two devices.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll work on that later.
Sir, before that,
sure.
Megha, if she could repeat which slide was she talking about in lecture 3, maybe we can share it.
I shared the slide link.
Yes. We would like to share the screen so that everyone can see and sir can also see it.
Okay.
7th slide, 3rd lecture.
Megha, you have it on your screen. Can you share it? Is it possible for her to share this screen?
I have that open, but I'm restricted to.
No, sir. Actually, only host and co-host can share the screen. Only they
she's
have the
talking
rights.
about lecture 3. That is video number 3 and 7th slide. So can you?
Yeah. So Aishwarya will share
I'll do
it,
that, sir. I'll do that.
Can you share the whole PPT? Let us see that.
Sure, sir.
She's talking about two sounds, and we should make it clear today. Yes, Purnendu, you want to speak something? Go ahead.
No, sir. Actually, wait. Let me see. Oh, my hand was raised.
Oh, okay, that's okay. That's all right. That's not a problem. Don't worry. Freight and sprain are short vowels. What is that, Fatima? Can you explain how freight and sprain are short vowels? Sprain. Sprain and freight. They are short vowels, Fatima, because we are using that they are diphthongs. They are not monophthongs. The vowels can also be classified as monophthongs and diphthongs. It can also be done as monophthongs and diphthongs, and therefore in these two words, A and A, so we are using the same vowel freight or sprain as diphthongs. Okay. Go to the 7th slide, actually.
So, yes, sir. This is the last slide.
Okay. Which
Here
one is that?
in 3rd row and 4th column, the symbol which is used is being not discussed in lecture 2 and 1 while we were discussing
Oh, this is ra
consonant
sound.
sounds. And
Flap ra.
also the same is in fifth row and fourth column. These two symbols are not being discussed in while discussing consonant sounds. So I would like to know that they are also one of the consonant sounds, or they are something different.
No. They are consonant sounds. One is ra. Okay, one is ra sound, ra in English, and the other is ya sound in English. And there is a difference between flap ra and approximant ra. Okay, so both are ra sound. Flap, are you with me? Do you see that? 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth row, and 1, 2, 3, fourth one. Fifth row, fourth one, and fifth, sixth one. So we are talking about approximant says ra and ya, and then flap ra. So basically there are two types of ra in English. One is known as flap, the other is known as alveolar approximant. And palatal approximant is a semi-vowel ya sound. And if they are not discussed in the examples that we have given you, we will send you some examples for that. Okay. Now we understand.
So including these sounds, we have 20 consonant sounds in English.
Yes, you can count them. They are all in front of you.
Yes, sir. They are 20, but the usage
Including
like
these
we are
two,
using,
there are 20.
They are 20.
Yes, including these two, there are 20. So what is important is keep it on the screen, Aishwarya. So what is important is, you see, pa and ba are bilabial stop sounds. Ta and da are alveolar stop sounds, and ka and ga are velar stop sounds. And then there is something glottal, which is different. So, right, first important 6 sounds are pa, ba, ta, da, and ga, ga. The distinction between pa and ba is in terms of voicing. Both are bilabials, both are stopped, but pa is voiced sound. Sorry, pa is not voiced, ba is voiced. Ta is not voiced, da is voiced. Ga is not voiced, and ga is voiced. And this is what we are indicating otherwise as plus voice, minus voice. So one that is not voiced, we use minus voice, and once that is used, we use plus voiced. Okay. Similarly, we have nasal sounds like ma, na, and na. Then we have flap sounds, and then you have several fricative sounds at different places of articulations like fa and wa as labiodental fricatives, tha and the as dental fricatives, sa and za as alveolar fricatives, and sha and z as post-alveolar fricative, and ha as a glottal fricative. And then we have approximant and lateral sounds. So lateral approximant is la sound. Of la sound in English is known as lateral approximant. Is that clear, guys?
Yes,
so this
sir.
is an important
Yes, sir.
part for you to keep in mind. My suggestion and request to you is, don't be scared of these terms like stop, nasal, flap, fricative, and all that. Similarly, bilabial, labiodental. If you spend a minute with this, it will become clear to you. You can understand what is bilabial, where when two lips come together, that's called bilabial. Bilabial. Labiodental, when upper teeth and lower lip, they touch together, they are called labiodental sounds. Dental, when tip of the tongue touches teeth, that's called dental sounds. Tip of the tongue touches the muscular region of the teeth, that is upper teeth. That's such sounds, such place and such sounds are called alveolar sounds. Post-alveolar, little bit above that region. Palatal, all of you know about palate. And then the last point is velum, where tip of the tongue cannot go that far. In fact, In fact, if you look at the picture of the oral tract, the back part of the tongue can only go towards velar region, and glottal is way deep down that we don't even see glottis. So these are the names of those places of articulations. And stop, flap, fricatives, and so on. They are the manner in which these sounds come out. So why I'm spending some time on this is to tell you that these terms are not, they are not big things, and at the same time it should not be scary to you. Just try to understand how they are describing the sounds that are available, and that way you little later you will feel more comfortable and with total command on sounds of English. Okay, go ahead, Anjana, Megha, and Harshini. If you guys have questions, go ahead one by one.
So may I?
Yes, please go ahead, Anjana.
So Harishriya.
Oh, go ahead, Harish. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So I would like to know, in this same slide, there is a part in understanding vowel sounds. I think it's third or fifth page.
Okay, we will go to that. You have a question about that?
Yeah, sir.
Can we go to that, Ashwari? Can we go to vowels? Another chart. Go above this slide. Okay, this is about articulations of. Wait, hold on. Stay here. Stay here for a moment. So Harshini, look at this. This is the one that I was talking about, which describes sounds of our languages. And here we are using capital T for retroflex sounds and smaller t for dental sounds. Okay, and we are making a distinction between ka and kha as minus aspiration and plus aspiration. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Go to the another one, vowel one, Aishwarya.
Third slide.
Yeah, it's coming. Hold on. This one, right?
Yes, sir.
Understanding vowel sounds. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Your question is?
Understand the figure exactly. What does it try to imply?
Okay, it tells you that see, first of all, look at this this shape. It indicates the shape of our tongue. Okay, so and that way you can understand front side, central part of the tongue, and back part of the tongue. Where it's written front, central, and back. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
That means front part of the tongue, central part of the tongue, and back part of the tongue. So this is indicating the vowel articulation positions. So for example, when we say oo, long oo that we were talking about, oo, that's our lips get rounded, but that's a back vowel. It comes from the whatever you can locate as back part of the please keep it there, right, back part of the tongue. And this is where somebody was talking about symbols. So we haven't drawn this table and it was tough to modify, but these symbols are taken from these symbols are called phonetic alphabets, but they indicate sounds of English, vowel sounds of English. So, and if you look at so on the vertical axis, horizontally you see front, central, and back. Horizontally you can see close, mid, and open. So this is where you have a sound like A. So A vowel is front and mid vowel. A is front and open vowel. That means the mouth is going to be wide open when we say this thing, but it has to be kind of close when we say E. And A, it will be mid open. Does it make sense to you, Harshini, now?
Yes.
What does this symbol indicate? So this is basically tongue position and its division in terms of front, central, and back, and close, mid, and open.
Sir, excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, does this graph means how much our mouth will open while speaking?
No. That part means when we talk about close, mid, and open.
Okay.
Yeah, but front, back, and central, they are just indicating the position of the tongue.
Position.
Yes.
Okay,
So
sir.
oo comes from. Can we make it bigger? It became bigger all of a sudden.
Yes.
Can you click it twice? Maybe it will become a little bigger. Can you click it twice, or maybe? Yeah, that viewing options. See it as bigger, or maybe on your screen you can make it bigger. It's specific to our screens. So yeah, it's fine. It's fine, Ashwarya. Leave it that way. So this is what front, central, and back means. And mid, close, and open. Mid, close, and open is about how much our mouth opens. Yes.
Okay.
Correct. So even before we send you something, I will suggest you, for those of you who want to read about it and find out what exactly. So this is not a new thing that we are introducing to you. This is at least a century-old diagram. So look at this sounds. So you can search for vowel sounds in English, and you will get this one, and then you can read a little bit more about the description of this picture, and it will tell you almost similar to what we are telling. And we will. I'm not saying we will not send it. We will also send it to you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So basically, this is not to show you magic, but to indicate how and what we need to know about sounds as fundamental thing for us to start evaluating what we know about sounds of English and how we are going to use them. And then when you speak the language, this is the beginning point for you, but I assure you that you will feel in a better commanding position about your understanding of the language. All right. Is that Harshini? Is that clear? Anjana Kumari, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Sure. Then Gautam. Yeah, go ahead, Anjana.
Can we go back to slide number 7?
Cannot hear you, Anjana.
Hello.
No. Can you guys hear her?
No, sir.
No, we can't hear you.
Hello.
No, sir.
Meantime, Gautam, go ahead. Anjana, please try to fix your audio. Yeah.
So thank you for giving me a chance. Yeah. I'll be very honest. I have not been able to go through all the videos so far because I was busy last week because of my job. My question is that why are we learning these things? How is it related to data science?
It's a much broader question. Actually, both are two parts are different. Why are we learning this? That is the answer to that. In short, is we are trying to draw your attention to the very basics of the sounds. It's a Gautam. When you learn anything about data science, you would need to know what is data and what is science, both in data science. Only then you can understand data science. Similarly, in language, without understanding what data means in data science, I don't think anybody becomes data scientist. What is the science that deals with data, and how does the science deal with data? These are, I think, the basics of becoming a data scientist. Similarly, anything that we do with language, the sounds are fundamentals. So what are those sounds? How many of them are they? What are the precise description of those sounds? What articulators are involved in that? Not to too many details, but to the point that we have given, and as you mentioned, you haven't gone through. please go through the first week. It won't take you more than an hour or two.
Sure, sir.
And then tell us more on in terms of your feedback, whether it adds to your understanding of the language or not. But right now, to say the least, it is important to understand the raw material that we are dealing with, that we are going to be using all the time. Or anything that we speak, only these 44 sounds are combined in multiple ways to use entire English language. And therefore, it is important to understand the distinction in terms of consonants, vowels, how many consonants, what their unique and individual identities are. The second part of your question is still very interesting. How is it relevant to data science?
Sir, can I answer it?
No, just a minute. No. Cross answering is not, you are more than welcome to talk to each other, but hold on, let me try doing this. And it's a genuine question and a nice question, and it requires an answer. To the best possible extent that I can answer that, there are two ways to look at it. You can close this slide, Aishwarya, please. We are done with that. So there are two ways to look at it, Gautam. The first one is language in general precedes anything. And this is why the whole course on English is part of the data science program, that we need to understand language to be able to talk and speak about whatever we know. I want to take your question slightly differently, to be more precise, as how these things are relevant to data science. As I mentioned before, in the data science, language becomes the larger part of the data. How we use the data and what tools we use to decode them, language is the larger part. And the more you know about the nuances of language, the better you understand the data that is the raw material in the process of becoming a data scientist. That's how it will be relevant.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for answering the question.
I'm not sure if I convince you with these answers, but it takes a long time to talk about some of these things, which I'm not sure if you were in the beginning. As I mentioned that this entire session, not today, but because this is the first one and the beginning one, this entire session is going to be divided into two parts. One, answering certain doubts or questions or comments, taking comments from people. It's always helpful to hear from those who are watching these videos patiently, passively, whether it's making sense to you or not. We want to hear that all the time. At the same time, we want to answer if you have any questions about those things. And in the second half, we are going to use certain hands-on examples to show how language is data, or how language becomes data in dealing with whatever science we apply to deal with that.
Okay, so I'm looking forward to that.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Sure. Somebody else wanted to speak something? Somebody else wanted to say something? Go ahead.
Sir, actually, I wanted to say that.
Say what?
How data science how English is relevant to data science.
You can talk. You can tell me your understanding. Go ahead.
Sir, actually, in data science, as you said, it is right. But when we talk about NLU, natural language acquisition, and NLP, natural language processing, then there is something that we call word embeddings. It is just a vector spaces from how much distance it is good or bad. It is like that. And for understanding that, we have to derive some type of algorithm where we use something like dividing the words into different letters, and like those things. There it helps a lot.
Okay.
But is NLP a part of data science, or is it a part of machine learning?
Actually, data science combines machine learning, statistics, mathematics.
Okay.
And also
interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting. Thanks for
Yes,
that,
it is
Purnendu.
very interesting. No problem.
All right. You see, any science, I'll tell you, I don't understand any one of those things, but I can tell you, all these things are related to one another. People were very skeptical. I mean, as I said, we will use this session only for two purposes. But since you raised this thing, allow me to tell you, people were very skeptical years ago. That is, in the last quarter of the last century and the first 25 years, first quarter, which we are going to complete very soon in the 21st century. So if we look at the 50 years history of scientific development, the kinds of things we can do with our machines like computers and phones, probably 30, 40 years ago, people could not even imagine those things. And if all those people who were skeptical about the developments in that and these things were not encouraged, supported, probably we won't be able to do things that we do today. And every place, if we are training machines to understand human speech sample and then to respond to that, somebody has put in thousands of hours of work to make it happen. And as you can understand, I'm not sure if you have gone through these things, human voice sample is also like DNA. No two people have exactly two voice. No two people speak exactly the same way. We say ka is a velar sound, but look at the engineering involved in that. No two individuals out of the 6 billion population on the world in the world speaks one sound the same way. So how many samples of ka are available to us throughout the world? And then to train machines with the larger data samples, which should be able to accommodate all others in that. I mean, all I am saying is they are all related, and if these things were not worked upon, we won't be able to do what we are doing today. And I am only looking forward to more, either from computer scientists, electrical engineers. So to respond to that, Gautam, I don't think advancements in electrical engineering, computer science, mathematics, statistics, they can be seen separately. When they come together, only then we see technological developments that we see.
Yes, sir, you're right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, and these are much bigger philosophical discussions for you can do these things with the people. I mean, there are very qualified people dealing with computational thinking, the course on computer science, people who will be coming to deal with programming and others, and people who are working with mathematics and statistics. These people know their things inside out. You can have more nuanced and philosophical discussions with those people. We will use this, as I said, primarily to answer questions about our materials on English, as how we can help you learn this. And we will also tell you what else we are going to do throughout the semester for you, because we are aware that we have a huge range of people, learners in this kind of endeavor. There are people who can speak very well, who understands very well. Then we also have people who have difficulty speaking or understanding or at different levels. So we have things planned for every possible group in this course. And time to time, very soon, I'm sure it would have already happened. Your calendar will be populated with the kinds of things we are going to offer. Almost every day we have a session designed to help different levels of people. And I want to make a public announcement here to you. If there is anybody, and if you happen to know anybody, you can send them to us, that is to this session or other sessions, who have difficulty finding another person to interact with them in English. We have groups ready to help and interact with them as well, in order to help them improve their conversational practices and speaking capability and so on. So and we don't want to, I mean, speaking too much about our own self and our own efforts start sounding narcissistic. We would want you to evaluate it at the end of it. We have only started. We will offer a few things, and we will leave all those things for your evaluation at the end of it, in the sense that how we did, and we would definitely want to hear from you about what else could we have done or could we do possibly, which will help people who come after you. This is not even the third year for this batch, for this course. Not the first batch has not graduated yet. So we are evolving in our process, but not being narcissistic about it. We need to tell you what we are doing. So we are only presenting to you what we are doing. But I do want to underline one point on behalf of the entire team and the program on data science, this whole degree program. I'm speaking only about this course on English. We are going to, this is an online course, but we are going to be spending quite a few hours live with you. In many courses in English language, people don't spend that much time when you go to a person to meet with. No matter how much online a course this is, we will try to be as close to you as possible, offering different aspects of learning and being online almost every day in a variety of ways. Rest you can, after it moves on, you will see how they work, how they go, and how they help. Anything else, guys? Did we? Oh, it's been quite a while since we have been talking and speaking.
Sir, I have a doubt from the assignment question. Actually, it says that there is a link in the assignment where I can hear some audio and I have to tell that what's the pronunciation of the word, but I am not able to find any link in that assignment. So I'm not sure where to find it.
We are going to check that and we will fix it. There must be some technical glitch. Usually that doesn't happen, but there must be some technical glitch. We'll fix it.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Sure. Anything else, guys? Any other question? Nothing? So in that case, can we stop here for this session? And I hope we have introduced to you. We took up your few questions. We went into the details of that, and look forward to your questions and comments regularly. We enjoy meeting with you online, and we will continue doing this, and we will bring other aspects of the sessions as well shortly to you. See you next time, same time, Saturday, right? Saturday. We will meet every Saturday this time, 4 to 5. So see you next week, guys.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Aishwarya, please look at the live tech people.
Sure, sir. I'll inform you, sir.
Yeah, they'll stop the live.
Sure.
Okay, great.